There is this lie that we tell ourselves, and I hear it a lot of the time, especially from tired parents, busy parents with young kids, or really from anyone who is exhausted pushing through life. And we say it so casually, we are managing. And I have said it too. But if I'm being honest, we are not really managing anything. We are surviving. Because truly, if I had managed everything the way I thought I was, I don't think that my body would have shut down the way it did. I don't think that I would have ended up in a place where my body had to force me to stop. So when I look back now, I realize something simple. I wasn't really managing anything. I was surviving. Most of the time, burnout doesn't look like someone who is falling apart. It looks like someone who is still functioning. Someone who is still working, parenting, showing up, doing everything that needs to be done. From the outside, everything looks just fine because everything is being done. Everywhere you are needed, you are there. It looks like you are handling life just very well. I know this because this was my life. People would look at me and think she has everything all together because I was everywhere. Kids' school events, I'm there. Work, I'm there. Friends' events, I'm there. Church, I'm there. Responsibility left, right, I was there, almost as if there was a badge of honor attached to it. Like being everywhere, doing everything, keeping everything together meant like I was doing well, meant I was being a good mom, a good wife, a good person. But inside, I was running on empty. I kept going because I taught myself that's what responsible people do, right? You don't stop, you push through. So I got used to it. I am managing, but I wasn't. I was surviving. When you are in survival mode, it doesn't really feel wrong at the beginning. It feels normal. It feels like life until signs start showing up in your body. And even at that, you don't really recognize them. You keep pushing. I remember those signs now. They didn't come all at once, they came slowly over time. At first, I started feeling tired, like really tired, drained to a point where I wake up in the morning before even my day starts. I am already drained. My mind is racing. The next thing I see, I started becoming easily irritated. Small things would trigger me. My kids would be talking and I would snap. And I would just tell myself, I'm just tired. I had too much to do today. That's life. So basically, at every sign, you normalize everything. You don't see it for what it is really. With time, it gets worse because even simple questions started feeling like too much, so overwhelming. I couldn't take it anymore. Like, why is everyone always asking me something? Can I not breathe? It was that so overwhelming. It continues like that to a point where I start feeling this deep exhaustion. The kind that sleep doesn't fix. You would sleep, wake up, but nothing has changed. And then something strange started happening. I don't know if this has happened to someone else. You can tell me if you have felt like this in the comments, if you have been exhausted to a point where you felt numb to tiredness. I became numb to tiredness. I knew I was exhausted, but I couldn't feel anything anymore. I remember being so scared and thinking like, how can a human being do this much and still feel nothing? Like I went from feeling tired to feeling nothing. I remember being so scared, to be honest. Yeah. I was functioning, but I was completely disconnected from myself. I don't know. That's how it felt. I was just there functioning like a robot on autopilot, basically. Like there is this time where we moved houses. I would drive all the way to the old house. And while driving, it will never occur to my mind that I am not going to the right house until I reach the old house in front of the house. Even at that, it will still take me a couple of seconds before it clicks in my mind. Oh, wrong house. We moved. That's how automatic my life had become. Not present, just movement, just reaction, surviving. Even in conversations with my kids, it started showing. I remember one day my daughter telling me, Mama, I don't really like it when I'm talking to you and you never really listen. You just keep saying, okay, I will see, okay, but you're not really listening. You keep telling me maybe tomorrow, maybe next weekend, maybe another time. Like I didn't even know what I am saying okay to. Realizing that my daughter noticed that I am not really actively listening to her. I am not really present. I'm there, but I'm not really there. It broke my heart to know that she no longer expects me to show up because I keep saying, just saying, but I never really do nothing that she's asking me or telling me. It broke my heart. Yeah. When she told me that, I really started reflecting a lot on my life, on the lifestyle that I have, the way I am living, if really it does align with who I am or the life that I want. But I continued. I continued with my hustle, as I always call it, until my body continued showing me signs. It reached a point where it felt like I was losing my mind, like I was not in control of my brain. I was losing my mental strength. Now I know what it is. My brain was overloaded. There is this fog inside. I couldn't think clearly. Like I had a lot of tabs open inside my head and I couldn't have my ideas clearly. Constant thinking, constant planning, constant pressure. I would physically feel like there is always this pressure inside my head and I would forget things a lot. I had started to forget things years before. We used even to laugh about it and they would tell me, oh, you are getting old. But then it became worse. It became worse that I would call someone, and by the time the person picks up the phone, I had forgotten why I was calling. I will forget my words mid sentence. And if I'm doing something and someone else talks to me, that's it. I forget what I was doing or I lose focus completely. I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate. My brain was no longer sharp as it used to be. At work, I would stare at my desktop. If I want to open a file and I will be there, don't know where to click, it will take me time before my brain finally decides to tell me where to go look for a file. Things that have been doing easily in minutes will take me forever. I felt like something else was controlling my brain. I know I'm capable of doing things. I know what I want to do, but my brain is not following. It had completely stopped. I don't know how I can put this into words. Maybe people who have lived this or who are living this can relate, but it feels so terrifying because I remember thinking like it feels like something is going to explode inside my head. And even after, I remember being so very worried, thinking that I will never regain my mental strength again. I could hardly read something, hardly try to remember something. It was off, it switched off. Terrible. I started having a lot of anxiety. Simple things would trigger anxiety. At work, things that I used to do became so overwhelming. I would say that that's where I really started to become aware that something was deeply wrong because I wasn't functioning like before. It wasn't me. But guess what? I didn't stop. I kept pushing. To be honest, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know how serious everything that I have been experiencing was. I continued until one day I had shingles. I got to know that shingles can be a sign that I have been under intense stress for a very long time. I started kind of feeling like, yeah, so this stress is too much. So it's even starting to show on my body. My body is telling me, we have been sending you signals, but you are not listening to us. Now, can you listen to the shingles now? This is us telling you that your body is weak, your immune system is weak. My doctor told me that I need to pause. I really listened. I said, okay, this thing is serious. I need to listen. I asked my doctor to give me some time to think about it. Can you imagine? In less than 30 days, I was back in the doctor's office because I had a panic attack. That was my first time. It felt so uncomfortable. I couldn't breathe. I was holding my chest. I felt like I was going to pass out. My heart was racing, but ended up it was just a panic attack. But I had reached a point where I was so stressed to a point where I would have panic attacks, anxiety here and there. So doctor said, okay, you need to stop because if you continue like this, you can even have a major health event. We don't want that. So I stopped like that. But before then, I felt like if I stopped, everything would collapse. My body ended up shutting down completely and forced me to stop. Nothing around me collapsed. Life continued. Burnout is not just tiredness, it is losing connection with yourself while still functioning in life. It hides behind responsibility, it hides behind capability. I can handle it, I can manage. Until your body starts speaking louder than your mind. Looking back now, if I'm being honest, my body had started speaking to me for years, but I didn't listen. Or let's say, I didn't see it for what it was. I am not sharing this as someone who has it all figured out. I don't. I'm still learning, still rebuilding, still trying to understand what life looks like outside survival mode. But one thing I know clearly now is that I don't want a life where I only function. I want a life where I'm present with myself, my kids, my family. Because what's the point of really pushing through everything if one day you will look back and realize you were never really present? This is where I'm going to end this story today. If something I shared feels or sounds familiar to you, you are not alone. This is not really weakness. It is definitely not failure. This is what long-term survival mode can look like. Thank you for watching. I'm really glad you're here with me on this journey. I will see you on the next one. Ciao.